ACCUSTATS Video Productions presents from Reno, Nevada, the Sands Regency number 21. I'm Bill Incardona along with David Maddux. This is Sunday, David. This is the day when great players become champions.
They call this crunch time in all sports when it gets to this point. You know, this is a semifinal match, the first match of today between C.J. Wiley and the current world champion, EARL Strickland. We look to see a slugfest between two heavyweights of the nine-ball world.
But what's so different about Sunday than any other day is that you're all alone out there today. There's no one else alongside of you like there are on Saturdays. Saturdays, it's like going to a circus or going to an amusement park. You know, you have a lot of fun. You play all day long with your peers and so on. But Sunday, it's completely different. It's a different flavor entirely.
Absolutely. They are definitely on an island today. You know, they brought the bleachers in, taking the other tables out. You know, all the attention is on this one match, and you know, this is what EARL Strickland and EARL Strickland in particular. CJ likes it. EARL Strickland thrives on this setting right here.
Well, that's what exactly might make the difference today. We know that EARL Strickland lives for Sunday, and we know that Efren Reyes, well, he can play on any day. You know, he's really not overwhelmed by anything. He's such a tremendous player. But can C.J. Wiley, you know, allow the moment not to overwhelm him? That's the thing. That's the question that I think that is very difficult to answer.
You know, that's a good point, and the way he got here may be an indication of his intestinal fortitude and his will to win, because he has won 9 matches in a row on the loser side. He lost his very first match, which of course everyone knows is a disconcerting thing from a mental standpoint, but to have just the raw guts to come back and win 9 matches in a row against the caliber of players in this field, you know, I think he's got a excellent opportunity to win this match and the tournament.
Well, his ability has never been questioned. We know he has the tools to win.
Right.
And to win 9 matches on the loser side is a tremendous feat. Matter of fact, there's only been 2 times in history in a major event that when a player lost his first match, he went all the way through to win the tournament.
Would you like for me to tell you who that was?
Yeah, I'm going to see if you know. Go ahead.
Well, it was at the tournament at Reds in Houston, the first tournament that Efren Reyes was a participant in. That was at a time, you know, we were lucky at that time. He was under the name Cesar Morales also, and he lost his first match in that tournament. And I was going to say, at the time, they were keeping ACCUSTATS, where you had a total performance average. And at that tournament, Efren won 11 matches in a row, averaging 923 out of a possible 1,000, which I know for you or I to shoot a 923 for one match is an extreme feat, and for him to do it for 11 matches in a row is incredible.
And the other player was Bobby Hunter in Toledo, Ohio, when he lost his first match and won, I guess it was 11 matches in a row to win that tournament. I don't believe any other player has ever done it. So therefore, it's like in the NBA, in playing 4 out of 7 to lose the first 3 games. Now you're hanging by a thread.
Exactly.
I don't think any team has ever won 4 consecutive games. But right now, C.J. Wiley, you know, he's going to be tested today. He certainly has the tools to win if he can keep it together mentally. You know, I give him a good shot because he has the tools to win. He's proven it throughout the week. And another thing, C.J. Wiley was the player who was runner-up last year in this event. He finished second, so therefore he already has experienced the flavor of the Sunday and also in the finals. So therefore, that experience may aid him in this particular match.
Well, you know, he may have waited 6 months just for this opportunity to get back to the finals, because he you know, again, last year he played a great tournament to get to the finals, but he ran into a buzzsaw in Tony Allen, and in a race to 15, he ran, I believe it was 7 or 8 racks out of 15. And when a guy's breaking and running out 50% of the time, you know, there's nothing much you can do but shake his hand and wait for the next time you get to play. So, you know, like I say, he may have chewed on that for 6 months since December, the tournament where he played Tony Allen in the finals, just to get to the point where he may have another opportunity to do that.
Well, I think that the tournament that he ran second is, we have 2 tournaments a year here at the Sands. It was last year when he was defeated by Tony Allen. 6 months ago, you remember, that was when Johnny Archer and Rafael Martinez played.
That's right. I stand corrected.
So he's actually the runner-up in this event a year ago.
Right.
And, well, everything you said is true. You know, he's probably been waiting for another opportunity, and it's going to be at the same place, the same atmosphere, it's the same setup. All those little things may help because he's familiar with those things now.
Right.
You know what Sunday is to me? Sunday is to me a day that it's okay to run out of shaving cream because it's the last day you're going to need it.
That's
what happened to me this morning. I ran out of shaving cream. I just had a little bit left, and that was it. The can's gone.
Well, it was an omen. You can have the rest of your life off then. Are we going to see you sporting a beard next time we see you then?
No, well, what I mean is I'll be home tomorrow and I'll have time to go shopping or whatever. But and I don't have any more shaving cream, and I don't need any more because I'm not going to be here tomorrow.
On the screen, we see C.J. Wiley.
Sands Regency a year ago with Tony Allen. He's been knocking on the door. It's loud and clear. He's won 8 in a row on the one-loss side. Please welcome the fast gun from Dallas, Texas, C.J. Wiley. Let's hear it.
I believe
Scott Smith said he won 8 in a row. I believe he's won 9 in a row. We have the man with the stats to my left, and he's agreed with me. He says, yes, he's won 9 consecutive matches on the loser side. And sometimes that can take a toll on a person. But he's fresh today. It's Sunday. But keep in mind, Sunday is a very difficult day to win.
EARL Strickland has won the lag. Given the generosity of this table on the break, that has proven to be a very big shot. The lag in 2 matches in particular that I watched played on this table. One was Jeff Carter breaking and running out 4 racks, and then the match just prior to that when he played Mike Massey, he broke and ran out 5 racks. So this table does break rather generously.
Strickland not really happy with the way the balls have been racked.
Well, we had a slight delay in the beginning, and they elected to change the spot, which that's a wise thing to do because the balls have been racked in the same place, and it gives them a fresh place to rack the balls.
The race is to 11 here in the semifinals, and
yes.
An extended race to 13 in the finals?
Yes.
Is that the way it is?
Yes. And that's the way the tour tournaments will be until further notice. There's one tournament that's an exception to that, and that is the tournament that was at the beginning of the year at King of Prussia, Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. And that format is single elimination, 2 out of 3 races to 9. But all of the rest of the tournaments are races to 11, double elimination, finals, 1 race to 13.
Well, a good indication of how prepared a player is coming into a match like this is how he breaks the balls. Well, EARL Strickland broke the balls very well, but he didn't pocket anything on the break. 2 balls at the other end of the table, the 6 and the 8, are a very big problem, which he will have to deal with at some time in this rack.
It looks like he may attain position on the 6-8 combination. If he doesn't get where he can break them out, I believe the combination is a makeable shot.
He doesn't have a ball where he can break out the 6 from the 8, so therefore he's going to probably have to do the same thing that David suggested he might do, play position for the 6-8 combination.
Unless he falls close enough to the rail where he has an angle, which he has not done. He would like enough angle on the cue ball so that when he shoots the 6-8 combination, he can move the cue ball away from the rail, because the 6 ball is going to be leaving the rail coming down table.
And another thing is it's going to be difficult. This is the angle I would take. After pocketing the 8, the 6 will then rebound off the cushion and strike the cue ball once again, holding it in the area of where the balls are now, and probably come up with a shot. Well, that didn't happen, but he was able to control the 6 ball very nicely. It's very important for Wiley to jump out to an early lead, because early game jitters are never so much more existing than it is in the semifinals and the finals. It's really there. So therefore, you really want to be the one that gets the first couple games on the wire.
Well, both of these players are both excellent front runners and come from behind players, given their explosiveness. So Earl would have just liked to have made a ball on the break, obviously. CJ handling that rack and taking a 1-0 lead.
And in a relatively short race to 11, it's so important to get the lead, because if you get the lead, you relax yourself, you're at the table, you're now more comfortable. And the incoming player that comes in, if he is given an opportunity and it doesn't do well with it, in a short race to 11, there's really not much time to overcome it if you happen to fall behind. That's why it's a very nicely done break shot, that is. Pocketing both the 1 and the 2. Let's take a look at the 3. He has a shot in the 3. Now the 4 ball positioned itself near the nameplate on the same side of the table that the 3, 4, and 6 are on.
I think he'll just lag the 3 in and accept a little thinner cut on the 4 than he would like. I don't think he'll risk going around the table in this situation. He struck the ball more firmly than he intended. This is a very difficult shot. He may elect to play safe behind the 6, banking the 4 down table. He tried to get behind the 6, but the cue ball did not cooperate, and I believe Earl Strickland has a makeable shot. He has the window between the 8-9, Billy.
CJ had a very good opportunity to capture both the first and the second game of the match. Now the angle that he had on the 3 was a very, very difficult angle to negotiate in regard to the position of the 4. He didn't really take much time in deciding what he really wanted to do, and
I think that
he shot himself out of position, and then he had to play a safety, which he really didn't play that well.
Earl Strickland has also played himself out of position on his first offensive opportunity, making the 4 ball, and he is too close to the 5 ball. But if he makes the 5, he figures to have a position on the 6 to play it in the upper right-hand corner of the 6 ball.
He wasn't comfortable with the sight that he saw, so he got back up from the table to get himself in line again. I think he's going to find himself in the bottom of the pocket. Now this is what CJ needs. He needs to jump out to that early lead. He made a blunder in shooting the 3 ball. Now he has an opportunity to avenge that and come back and do well in this particular game.
I think that an indicator, the very first, the shot on the 3 ball in this game is the type of shot that if you are having a little nerves early in the match, that soft spin finesse type shot is more difficult to execute because you're tight, and that requires a more fluid stroke and approach to the shot. So
it's just that he hasn't developed the touch for that shot in the early stage of the match. That's a mid-stage match shot when you already know the speed of the table. You know exactly what type of reaction that's going to take place when you contact the balls. You're more comfortable shooting that type of a shot when you're loose. And at the end of game number 2, it's Wiley that leads in the match by 2-0. CJ broke the balls very nicely in the second game, controlling the cue ball very nicely. And once again, that's certainly an indication that he's preparing himself to play. You have to control the cue ball off of the break.
The shot that Earl scratched on, the reason that he scratched, he was so focused on just pocketing the ball because he was so close to it that he didn't commit to either floating the cue ball to the end rail or drawing it short of the pocket. So he middled it and went straight in the hole.
Wiley got the 1 ball and also the wing ball to fall. It's very important, if you're Wiley, that you break the balls well, and also you would like to see the wing ball fall, because sometimes when the wing ball starts falling on the break, it's very difficult to stop.
Right.
And he's got control of the table, and if that's the situation, having control of the table is very, very, very important.
He overshot the mark slightly on the 5 ball. He may elect to shoot the 5 in the upper right-hand corner to hold position on the 6. If the 8 were not there, he may shoot in the up. Well, he's going to shoot in the upper left anyway, but the 8's a pretty big ball here.
He has to be careful. He's going to bump the 7. I think he's going to get it out of the way.
Very nice shot. Well, again, the 8 ball was an obstructing ball in the path. Normally, he would have played the play position for the 7 in the lower left. But he was respectful of the position of the 8 and didn't want to risk running into it. And with the pocketing of the 9, he takes a 3-0 lead.
He's won 9 consecutive matches on the winners, or excuse me, on the loser's side.
Would you like me to run this down for you, Billy, who he played in the loser's bracket? He was defeated in his first round match by Paul Potier from Canada, and his terror began with Thomas McCord, then Jose Perica, a great player from the Philippines, Nicholas Guimond from Canada, another Canadian, Jerry Watson, Mike Massey, Roger Grivis. He got a little revenge on Paul Potier in the loser's bracket, putting him out of the tournament. And then he defeated Johnny Archer in a match that's also available on ACCUSTATS. And then late last night, after a grueling Saturday, he defeated Rodolfo Luat. So
he has certainly earned his right to play here
absolutely.
In the semifinals, that's for sure. And he does have a 3-0 lead against EARL Strickland, the current world champion. But what he can't allow himself to feel is that a 3-0 lead is insurmountable and get too laxed or careless, because EARL Strickland can come back from just about any deficit, because he's probably the most explosive player in the world today.
I think we're going to see Earl go to the end rail between the 5 and 9 and try to back kick the 1 ball up table. And he's got the snooker with the 7 ball. If he doesn't have a complete snooker, I believe CJ can only hit the edge of the 1.
That shot was executed just about perfectly.
That was a situation where CJ had a makeable shot on the 1. It was very difficult because he had to hit the rail first and spin the cue ball into the 1. But he shot it just a little fast, don't you think?
Well, I thought he played safe on the shot. It's a type of a shot that just lies, so it's an easy shot to play safe off of.
In any event, he scratched, and this is the kind of opportunity Earl Strickland definitely needed. Cue ball in hand, and he's going to get to loosen his arm up and knock some balls in.
Well, he's fallen out of line here on the 5, and the angle that he ended up with is going to restrict him in regard to playing position for the 6. He's going to have to accept a much longer shot on the 6 than what he wanted. Had he gotten a straighter shot on the 5, he would have been much closer to the 6. It's little things like this that sometimes cost you games and maybe even matches.
But I'll tell you something that you said last night, that when you watch Earl Strickland play, you don't ever think he's going to miss a ball. He just pockets balls so well that you really don't feel like there's much risk that he would miss a shot like that.
He's not very comfortable. At least that's the indication that I get from the way he's controlling the cue ball in terms of speed. Whenever you see a player playing pool when he has good speed of the cue ball, that's when you know he's comfortable. Earl Strickland hasn't got the feel of the table yet. Because when you go into a match, you don't really play your opponent, you play the table. By this time, both players know how this table plays. They should know every roll-off. They should know how easily the pocket accepts the ball, what speed they hit the balls with. They play the table. If you can defeat the table, you win the match. Earl Strickland, right now, is not beating the table. The table is beating him.
Well, he came up dry on his first break, so it'll be interesting to see if he makes an adjustment on the break. And if so, well, what adjustment does he make? Does he change sides of the table? Does he hit him with a little more or a little less force. Earl is very distracted at the moment. He played a match last night, and he looked as though he were just so calm and so focused. Today he doesn't quite have that same demeanor at the table. There, he made the corner ball on the break. The 9 ball almost went, and the 1 ball cooperating very nicely for a shot at the 1.
Notice the position of the 2 next to the 9 near the bottom cushion. Now the position of the 1 up table suggests to me that, well, he can go 2 cushions across table, playing position for the 2-9 combination. Now since the 4 and the 6 are tied up, I believe that's the 6 on the other side of the table, there's no question invariably he will go to that and take that option.
Well, he knows that when he shoots the 2-9 combination that the cue ball is going to be on this end and the 2 ball will probably be up table, so. And given position of the 4 and the 6 ball, it was a relatively free shot.
Game number 5 goes to Strickland. Now he only trails by 1 game in the match, 3 games to 2. And in the first rack, Strickland broke the balls. He controlled the cue ball perfectly, going straight back, indication that he's hit the 1 ball squarely, and that's what he wants to do. If he doesn't make a ball on the break, well, then he's just hard luck. But with his break, he figured to put down some balls on the break, so that the emphasis should be on cue ball control. And if the first rack is any indication how he's going to be breaking the balls for the remainder of the session, I look for him to do well off the break. Notice the position of the cue ball, how it almost stopped in center of the table. He was a little ill-fated in the regard that he got a kiss off of the, I don't know what ball it was, but it sent the cue ball down the other end of the table in the jaws of the upper left-hand corner.
We may see Earl, the cue ball does bypass the 4 ball, so we may see Earl shoot the 2-9 billiard here.
Well, but if he shoots the 2-9 billiard, the 2 ball will probably go 2 to 3 cushions. It might even go into the 8, might go into the 5. But the 2-9 billiard may be a shot that he likes. He did like it. I mean, he liked it enough to shoot it, and we know why he liked it now, because it went right in the center of the pocket.
Exactly.
Game number 6 goes to Strickland. This match is knotted up at 3 games apiece.
This may be a case of anything you can do, I can do better. CJ won the first 3 games, and Earl Strickland parried with 3 games of his own and breaking.
You must be prepared to play, and the best way to prepare yourself is on the break. Prepare yourself right here in this area, right here. Notice the cue ball. Oops, what happened there? The 5 ball kissing the cue ball down to the other end of the table. A little ill-fated, but that doesn't figure to happen. If you can control the cue ball as well as he did on that break, you're going to probably end up in the winner's circle, right. And that's what he does probably as well, or maybe even better than anyone on the tour today.
Well, I mentioned in an earlier match that we did, I saw a statistic where Earl at a tournament in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, broke and ran out, I believe it was 30.4% of the time from the break for the entire tournament. And no one has ever come close to a statistic like that.
At that time, nothing fell. A lot of congestion on not only the left side of the table, but the right side of the table.
And CJ, if he can hit the 1, can only barely hit the 1. He may have to roll out here.
A little different game, this one right here. There's going to be a lot of strategy in this game. Notice on the left side of the table, the 3, 4, 7, and 9 are grouped closely together. Now he bumped the 4. On the other side of the table, that's where the 2, 5, 6, and 8 are. The 6 and 8 are nearest the right-hand side pocket. So therefore, there's going to be a lot of pull in this game. This figures to be a very interesting game.
Well,
he tried to cross the 1, positioning the cue ball behind the wall, the 2, 6, and 8, sending the 1 ball down table. Well, he didn't do that. He got a kiss on the 1, but a little fortuitous roll in making the 1 in the side pocket. He still has control of the table. really doesn't have much to shoot offensively, so therefore he has to try to figure out the best position to leave both the cue ball and the two ball. He has to control both balls on this shot, and it doesn't look like he's going to have an easy time doing it.
He's going to cut the two ball possibly into the 5 and drop under the 3 with the cue ball. That's what he tried to do. He missed the 5. If he had cut the two ball into the 5 like he intended, I believe the cue ball would have found its way behind that cluster of balls.
But what he did do there is he opened the door up for the first person who gets the shot. The first shot is going to win this match now, or not this match, this game, because now the 3 is broken loose from the 9. All the other balls are in decent position, not really good, but they're in decent position. So therefore, Wiley has an opportunity to capture this game. This shot here is a very crucial shot.
If CJ bumps the 9 on this shot, I think it's going to send the cue ball too close to the area of the 6 and 8. If there were any way he could miss the 9 ball, I would think he would obviously love to do that.
I don't think he's even going to play this shot. I think he used good judgment in doing what he did. Whether or not the 3-4 is lined up for a good kick for Earl, I don't know from our vantage point, but the judgment that he used on that particular shot, I thought he exercised very good judgment, and that tells me that he really wants this. He wants to win. He doesn't need to make really tough shots to prove that he deserves the recognition.
Right.
He wants to win now, and you really have to win. You really have to want to win on Sunday. And that shot was an indication that he's learning how to win.
We're going to see Earl go one rail, not going to the side rail, soft at the 3 ball, hopefully ending up with some type of safety, which he has not done. That was a legal shot, but C.J. Wiley is straight in.
I really don't know what Earl expected to do with the speed that he hit that shot with. You know, I was kind of surprised to see him roll into the 3-4, because by doing that, he's just leaving Wiley just too many options. So Wiley actually now is being rewarded for his good judgment shooting the 3 into the 4 and tying the 3 and 4 up and hooking Earl behind the 9. There are a lot of ways to win games. You just have to understand how to do it.
Right.
Wiley is learning how to win games, and if he learns how to win games, he certainly has the tools to win tournaments. This is game number 7. The match is knotted up 3 games apiece. I like Wiley's demeanor at the table right now. That long route on the loser side, I think, gave him a little bit of something that he really needs to play here today on Sunday. It's given him that confidence that he can really execute and beat all these guys, because the amount of players that he beat, 9 in a row, was significant, but how he beat him was also significant.
Right.
I mean, he just blew him out.
Exactly. And, you know, obviously some of the best players in the game, Parika, Griffiths, Archer, Luat.
I don't believe that any player that he played in the past 6 matches got more than 6 games against him.
Wow. That's quite a dominant performance. That was a shot of Tang Ho.
Tang Ho, my friend from L.A. Oh, he got a headset on. Look at, he wants to learn. He's an eager beaver there, looking to learn everything he can. Efren Reyes is the player who's undefeated in this tournament. He's waiting for the person who survives this match.
CJ did not make the corner ball on the break, and he's going to come up dry.
Now, what CJ did there It was what he could not afford to do. He did not hit the break good. He did not hit the one ball square. Notice the position of the cue ball. After striking the one ball, the cue ball went directly to the side cushion and down table, an indication that he hit the side of the one and he didn't hit the one square. And that's probably the reason why he didn't get the action off of the break that he wanted to get. You must break the balls good. I mean, I cannot overemphasize that. You must break the balls good.
That was a wonderful shot Earl just made.
He's going to have to make another one. Look at the position of the 3 at the other end of the table.
He may be able to hit this with low right and go, well, he didn't have as much angle as I thought. He just accepted a little more difficult shot on the 3 ball.
Well, what he did was he took whatever it had to offer. It didn't have more than that to offer, and that's what he took. Okay, now his speed looks like it's starting to come to him right now. He's a little more relaxed out there, and he illustrated on that particular shot that he had much better speed. And it was very crucial for him to lie good on the 4, considering the position of both the 5 and the 6.
He didn't want to end up above the line of straight in on the 4 ball, so he didn't have to negotiate the 9 for position on the 5.
Well, the 4 ball was the crucial ball to have to play good position for, because you had to have good position for the 4 to play position for the 6, because position off of the 5 was very difficult if you didn't get good on it.
He's going to come down and play the 8 in the side.
Much more comfortable with his speed, positioning the cue ball just about ideally. Even though he has to shoot it in the corner, he was close to the 8. He had options. He took advantage of it. This is game number 8. The match is knotted up once again, 4 games apiece.
Well, that was the start of that was CJ's missed execution on the break. As you indicated, you know, he let the cue ball go to this end of the table, and he didn't transfer much energy to the rack and didn't make anything. So
the most important part of pool today is the break, particularly when you get to the semi and the final match, because both players out there tonight, or today I should say, definitely have earned their right to be there because of their great execution throughout the week. So therefore, they're not falling behind on execution. They don't really need to be worried about that today, but they need to be worried about controlling the cue ball off the break to give them the opportunities to perform.
Right.
Look at the execution on the break, Strickland. He knows how to break the balls. He knows what puts you in the winner's circle. The position of the cue ball is an indication that he, of the 2 players right now, is breaking the balls the best. That was a very nice shot. That particular type of a shot is a testy shot in the regard that you can't hit it too hard because you'll play yourself out of position on the 3. If you hit it too softly and let up on your stroke, you'll find yourself behind the 6. It's a finesse shot in a sense, and Strickland hit it perfectly. Notice how nicely he's playing now. He's fluid. His speed of the cue ball has improved tremendously. His break is intact. He's breaking the balls very well.
He's picked up his pace walking around the table as well.
He's starting to get into the rhythm that he really enjoys playing in. I notice Wiley looking up at the score, something that he shouldn't be concerned with right now. Game number 9 goes to Strickland. Takes a 1 game advantage in the match and goes to 11, 5 games to 4.
Earl Strickland, while we have a moment, Earl Strickland got to this position. He got a bye in the first round, and he played Michael Coltrane, played Greg Fix, Mark Jarvis, and then the going got a little tough. Tougher, I should say. He beat Jim Rempe, Roger Griffiths, and Rodolfo Luat before finally succumbing to Efren Reyes in the finals of the winner's bracket last night.
What a tremendous match it was when he played Luat last night. We have that in ACCUSTATS with no commentary, but it's well worth the amount that you have to pay for it, because the investment in that tape, it will be rewarded many times every time you watch it. What a great match and a thrilling finish, which I won't elaborate on. Buy the tape and you'll see it.
The last 5 minutes is worth the price of admission, definitely.
Well, that match was a great match. I mean, both players responded to the challenge. When they were asked to do something, they did it. It was a great match. Three ball in the corner, 5 in the side, along with another ball, which I don't know what it was. Let me see, the 1, 2, 3 is gone, 5 is gone, and 7 is gone. He can hit the 1. I don't know if he can hit the portion of the 1 that he needs to hit the back across corner. The position of the 2 and 9 suggests that the person who pockets the 1 will invariably win game number 10.
Earl's looking at playing a safety here. Behind the 4 ball.
Well, I think that he was able to put Wiley behind the 4, but Wiley can kick behind the 1 softly, sending the 1 somewhere in the area of the 6. This is a type of a shot that Efren Reyes is very, very, very adept at shooting. Oh no, he's jumping it.
He may be banking the 1 on the 9. That's what he did. He was banking the 1 on the 9, and unfortunately for him, not only did he go off in the floor, but the 1 ball hit the 9, but did not move it away from the 2-9 combination. So Earl has an opportunity, to lengthen his lead, just pocketing the 1 in the 2-9 combination.
Well, he may not like this, believe me, he may not like this. He's gotten himself a little bit out of position. Now he's going to have to cut the 2 ball back into the 9. He's going to have to cut the 2 ball very, very thinly, and this type of a shot plays quite difficult. But he made it look routine. Game number 10 goes to Strickland, who now has a 2-game advantage in the match, with the score being 6 games for Strickland, 4 games for Wiley.
Earl Strickland has won 6 out of the last 7 games. CJ won the first 3 in a row. Earl has been striking this break in true Strickland fashion.
Well, the break is the shot that gives you the opportunities to win.
8 ball did not go. 9 ball almost went.
Okay, now Wiley has a chance now to do something good. He scratched the last time he was at the table. And he jumped the table. He fouled. And the preceding time, he hit the break shot very, very poorly. So therefore, he has an opportunity to do something well here.
We're going to see him drop down and play the 3 in the side, and probably play the 4-9 combination.
Probably.
Well, most definitely.
I think that he will. Unless he just wants to run the balls, get in a little bit better stroke, get the feel of the table. But I don't think it's time for that.
Well, I hate to use absolutes in this comment in the booth. You never know.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Faint heart never won a fair lady. Game number 11 goes to Wiley, who now trails by 1 game in the match, 6 games to 5. Now Wiley's back at the table. He's going to be breaking the balls in game number 12. Now the problem that he had in breaking the balls in game number 9 was that he didn't concentrate and focus on the break shot. He very, very carelessly broke the balls, hit the side of the 1, and it cost him a lot. It really did. He had control of the table, and the way the balls are breaking on this table, you want to keep control of the table. Like with the last rack, the rack before last, when Strickland broke the balls, he pocketed a ball. He didn't have an offensive shot, but he was able to play a safety, which he earned that particular game by playing that safety. So He kept control of the table. Wiley must make sure that he hits the 1 ball squarely, and if he doesn't do better on the break, he's going to be in big trouble here. he should line up this break shot. After Martin backs away from the table, he should line up the break shot, and he should treat it just like it's any other difficult shot or crucial shot. He should line it up and break him square. Once again, off the table with the cue ball. He's not performing in the area that's really critical, and that's the break, and that's going to cost him. If he loses, that's where he's going to lose it at, off of the break.
Well, Earl, I don't see any difficulty in this rack, Billy. None whatsoever.
You know, you work so hard, so diligently in preparation for an event, and you play so great throughout the week, beating all the players that Wiley has beaten. And it's hard to take when you allow it to slip away because you don't control the cue ball off the break. You have to understand the importance of it. I know it's a little bit of redundancy here, but you really must understand the importance of the break playing upper echelon players.
Earl's following an excellent line on the 8 ball. He'll follow it 2 cushions toward the left-hand side rail. And capture game number 12. And that brings the score now 7 games for EARL Strickland, 5 games for C.J. Wiley. But CJ is not only a great player, he's also a promoter. And his room, CJ's Billiard Palace in Dallas, Texas, is the host of the next tour stop on the Pro Billiards Tour. We look forward to that tournament. It was a nice tournament last year, and he feels like it's going to be the new and improved and bigger and better. And well, it is. It's going to be a full-blown tour stop this year. So we appreciate his efforts there.
Excellent control of the cue ball. When you take a look at the position of the 3, you know that you most certainly need an angle off the 2. You cannot afford to end up straight on the 2. Strickland got a perfect angle on the 2, but what he didn't do was pocket the 2. Not suffering much of a consequence. Notice the position of now the cue ball and the 2 ball. So therefore, he really didn't get punished badly for his mistake. Wiley is very disgusted out there right now. He's
attempting to masse around the 9 ball in contact with the 2. I was a little bit surprised to see him do that, given his jumping ability. I thought he may be able to jump over the 9 and bring the 2 ball down to this end of the table and leave the cue ball up there. But
Wiley's got to keep it together mentally right now. I mean, things aren't going well for him right now. It's obvious, but he really has to keep it together mentally because he's going to have other opportunities. He just has to take advantage of them.
Earl may elect to hit this with a high inside ball or just go back straight across. He was fortunate in that regard because he was intending to go above the 9 and play the 5 in the lower left-hand corner, but the cue ball was cooperating and bumped into the 9, giving him a shot on the 5 ball in the lower right.
Played the outside of the pocket. Maybe not intentionally, but playing the outside of the pocket, needing the entire pocket, the pocket of the 5.
Well, that was a situation that Earl showed his athletic ability because he was on a full stretch.
The position that he played on the 8 was kind of curious. if you go back to that particular shot, you notice that on the right side of the 8 is definitely the proper side of the 8 to be on. That way you only have to draw off the long rail and you're right in line for the 9, going toward the 9. The other way, yeah, you can still play position for the 9, but you got to go 2 cushions and you're out of line for a long time before you're in line,
right.
And then you bypass your line of position quickly. So therefore, he really didn't put much importance in playing position for the 8, obviously. I don't know why, but at that time he didn't. I think that's a little small percentage that might show up one time and beat him.
Well, it was difficult to tell the exact angle that he had on the 6. If he had a little bit more angle, he may have felt that he didn't want to roll it that softly to stay on the right-hand side of the 8. And after 13 games, Earl Strickland leads 8 games to 5. He's pocketed the 4 ball on the break. And this time he's not come up with a shot and cannot hit the 1.
Notice the position of the cue ball. It's to the right of the table the way we look at the monitor. Now he's actually playing that side of the table for position of the cue ball because the 1 ball will be on that side of the table also. It's really not an accident that the cue ball is ending up on this side of the table. He's striking the break favoring the left side of the 1 ball the way he looks at it. That way the cue ball will then go to the left side of the table the way he looks at the table. And he has probably a better chance of coming up with the shot on the 1 using that type of a method of breaking. That particular time he was snugger behind the 7, but he positioned both the cue ball and the 1 ball where he wanted them.
A well-played safety by CJ. Earl put out a position to where CJ's only opportunity would be a defensive one, and he executed a very nice shot. Earl answered with another fine kick safety, but he did leave CJ the edge of the 1. I think Earl will find himself under the 2 ball here.
Now that time I agreed with Earl with the speed that he kicked with because he had 2 interfering balls, the 3 and the 7. Had he kicked that shot with a harder speed, then the 1 ball escapes that real good equity that he has in the 3 and the 7, allowing possibly CJ to come out of it with a shot. But with the speed that he kicked with, he had a pretty good chance of walking away from the table in a good situation. Okay, Wiley needed this. Now he has ball in hand. He trails by 3 games in the match in a race to 11, 5 games to 8.
Well, what you're referring to, Billy, you're making a reference to is the kick shot that Earl Strickland had earlier in the match when the 3-4 were in the lower left-hand corner of the table, and he kicked softly at it. And if what I am hearing from you is correct, I agree with you in that he should have hit that with more velocity. He had a chance to pocket the 3-4 combination, and at the very least he had a chance to create distance between the 3 ball and the cue ball. So,
well, he really didn't have any other balls other than the 4 on that end of the table to aid him on that particular shot.
Right.
There was no reason for him to kick softly at it.
right.
Actually, I thought he was asking for a problem by kicking it with the speed that he did.
He only gave himself a chance for one good thing to happen, and that was to, I guess he was looking to freeze the cue ball on the 4 ball. But
that's like finding a needle in a haystack.
Right.
Or something like that. Wiley has excellent control of the cue ball. Very nice angle on the 6. I believe he has a fairly good angle on the 6.
He may drop down and play this. He hit it with high inside.
I was wrong with my believing he had a good angle, which he didn't. He's going to probably draw this back for the side. And if he's come up, well, I think he's gotten back far enough.
Stun it down a little bit.
The score at this moment is 8-5. Strickland with the pocketing of the 9. It'll now be 8-6 Strickland. With Wiley once again with an opportunity to break the balls. And that's what's cost him so far in this match, to break. And the last time he broke the balls should have been an eye-opener. The preceding time he broke the balls, he mishit the 1 badly and didn't really pocket a ball on the break. But the last time he broke the balls should be an eye-opener in regard that, hey, listen, I'm not hitting the 1 ball squarely at all. I lost the cue ball the last time. I have to put more emphasis on cue ball control.
Exactly. He may change sides of the table on the break. He's mishit the break on this side several times. He obviously feels he can make the adjustment, which he did he did make an adjustment. He took pace off of the cue ball and improved his accuracy on the hit of the 1.
Well, if that's what he has to do to get himself back in line on the break, that's fine. Do what you need to do. And in subsequent games, he'll be able to increase the velocity of the break because he'll have more confidence in the break shot, and he'll start focusing on it better.
We're going to see he executes a position on the 3 ball, cue ball going toward the 4 ball.
Excellent speed.
Terrific speed.
Like I mentioned earlier, he does have all the tools. He's won 9 in a row. He's pocketing balls as well as anyone on the tour right now. So therefore, all he needs to do now is get opportunities. And most of opportunities do stem from the break. Now he's found himself out of line on the 7. He can pocket the 7 in this corner, but it leaves him out of line on the 8. He's opting to pocket the 7 in the side, taking a little more difficult shot. But the reason he did that is because now the 8 ball becomes a much better ball to play position for the 9. Game number 15 goes to Wiley, who now trails by only 1 game in the match, 7 games to 8. Race to 11. Every game hereafter is very, very crucial because we're getting what you might call in a horse race. We're getting into like the stretch turn just about.
Well, being that it's a shortened race to 11, they're at the final turn. EARL Strickland needing 3 games, CJ Wiley needing 4. And on the monitor we see the ACCUSTATS Video Productions Pro Tour Videos logo and banner.
And that number, 1-800-828-0397. And Pat Fleming is always there. He's always been there for me.
Good shot of the 2 players. EARL, arms folded, anxiously awaiting his next opportunity at the table, to be sure.
Sometimes when the problem of racking the balls becomes more of a problem, the player, in his anticipation to break the balls, gets very nervous and uptight because he really wants to get back in action.
Right.
And excuse me. Okay, once again, he's controlled the cue ball fairly well on the break, and he's got rewarded because he pocketed the ball on the break, and he's gotten himself a nice shot on the 1.
Very, very, very nice opportunity to tie the score.
Notice that both players are positioning both the 1 and the cue ball on the right side of the table.
And as you alluded to, that's no accident. They know that the 1 ball is going to go to the right-hand side rail and then across table, and the cue ball just straight toward the right-hand side rail.
And when you're breaking on a table that's giving up balls on the break, that's so important. It's so important to be able to control both the cue ball and the 1 ball. Because, you know, if you pocket a ball on the break probably 65-70% of the time, you're going to come up with a shot quite often, and then you can string some racks. But you got to keep the ball on the table, the cue ball that is, to give yourself the opportunity to win games in bunches.
EARL Strickland, after CJ broke that rack, was having some discussion with Martin Courtois, discussing the rack.
All right, CJ's going underneath the 5 here. What I mean by that is you're going to be drawing it. That was a very touchy shot. I myself perhaps would have played that a little bit differently. I may have played with the center ball sending the cue ball to the middle of the table.
He's overcut the 6 ball. That was an excellent opportunity to get out. He was in very good line on the 5 ball and misplayed position on the 6.
He had a shot on the 5 that offered the option of going to the center of the table, playing position for the 6 in the lower left-hand corner. That may have been a tough thing to do, considering that he figured to end up with a half difficult shot on the 6. But the other option was the one he chose, playing position for the 6 in the upper left-hand corner, getting too closely to the 6. If I was CJ, I probably would have played the other shot, because he's a great shot maker, in the shot on the 6 in the lower left-hand corner shouldn't have created much of a problem for him.
Well, Earl executed good.
That's
judgment.
history now. Let's see how he works this deal.
Earl executed good judgment in his deciding not to take an offensive shot at the 6 ball. While the 6 ball did pass the 7 ball in the upper left-hand corner, excuse me, it was a difficult shot, and he had a cinch safety, something he could do 100% of the time, and that's what he did, and got rewarded with cue ball in hand. Just one little mistake, like the position from the 5 to the 6. CJ was in control. He had broken and run out 2 racks, broken the 3rd rack very nicely. Probably had an easier run on it than either of the previous 2 racks, and made just a 4 or 5 inches mistake on the cue ball, and that was enough to turn that game around and possibly the match.
Well, there's Mrs. Wiley, Angela. She's really a beautiful lady, and the lady she is.
Got it closer to it that time. That's all right. See, the 5 doesn't touch the 7. Right. And that's the reason the ball just goes straight in.
Earl explaining to everyone why the corner ball is going on the break. He has indicated that it's not touching the 7 ball, but he has moved to that side of the table also, hoping to make the 5 ball on the break, which he was correct. The 5 ball did go straight in on the break, and
he put more velocity into that break, and also the cue ball went to the other side of the table, unlike the preceding times he's broken the balls where he's controlled the cue ball on the right side of the table. Notice the position on the 1. It's still on the right, but the cue ball is on the left.
Well, one safety that he has immediately is to play the cue ball into the area of the 3-6, but it looks like he may go behind the 2 ball. A great shot. Tremendous execution right there.
Yes, it was. That was a very risky shot in the regard that if you didn't get it behind the 2, you lose control of the table, not so much offensively, but giving Wiley an opportunity to put you in trouble with a defensive shot.
CJ made a very nice hit on the 1. Earl does have a shot on the 1.
From the angle that I have, it looks like if he pockets the 1, the cue ball will then go in the direction of the 7, somewhere in that area. And he has to be careful to hit it with a good speed, because he might find himself behind the 7. Oh, it went into the 9. He hit the 1 ball very fully, and that's why it went so far to the left, or left, that is.
He does have a shot on the 2 ball. The cue ball, again, cooperated and cleared the 3 ball.
Earl's already in the stretch. After you win your 9th game, you consider yourself in the stretch run, needing only 2 games in a race to 11. Playing himself a little bit out of line for the 4. This is a very interesting shot. There's a lot of traffic on the left side of the table in the 7 and 9. The angle that he has on the 4 suggests that he's going to go in that area. He can afford to hit the 7, but he can't afford to hit the 7 underneath it. He can afford to hit the 7 on top, which he'll still end up with a shot on the 6 if that's what he does. He's going to the other corner.
Yeah, he's shooting the 4 in the upper left-hand corner.
And he did not make it. Wiley jumped out of his chair with a shot on the 4. What a great opportunity. Wiley, this is yours if you can just take it.
He's gotten perfect on the 6. He can shoot and stop, play the 7 in the upper left-hand corner. Earl Missed the 4 ball.
This was an unexpected opportunity that he should be elated to have had. The opportunity to do exactly what he's doing. Strickland has opened up the door. He had 9 games with a very easy shot on the 4, but he opted to play the more difficult shot, shooting it into the left-hand corner in fear of the possible confrontation with either the 7 ball or the other ball in the table. If he can get missed it and cost him. It's a great opportunity for Wiley. He must take advantage of it. He must take advantage of it on this break shot.
You can see Earl in the chair, and I tell you what, I know that in his mind, the distress that he is feeling is because he knows that C.J. Wiley has broken the balls extremely well the last 3 times at the table. Should have run out, did run out 2 times, and should have run out the 3rd time.
Oh, he hit the break very good. I don't know if he's going to get rewarded for it. He hit it good, but he didn't get a ball. Did not pocket a ball, leaving Earl a straight-in shot on the 1. Well, you can't do anything about that because you did what you were expected to do. You just didn't get rewarded for it. Sometimes things happen that don't seem that they're fair, but that's just the nature of the game. Strickland back at the table with an opportunity that he didn't think he would get so soon, but he's back at the table. I don't know what he's saying.
Earl just said, he said, I don't deserve to be here. He said, I'm not playing well enough. I know my game well enough that I don't deserve to be here. He's going on this discussion, and CJ's getting rather disgusted. The only difficulty that remains in this rack is the 6-8 combination, but given the position of the 8 close to the corner, Earl should be able to run these. You know, on that shot, I like going to the left-hand side rail and playing the 5 and going 2 cushions toward the 6. You know what I mean? When he shot the 4, instead of coming out and playing that shot, just play the cue ball to the left-hand side rail.
Well, then you're committing to the combination.
Yes.
Well, maybe he was right that he doesn't deserve to be there, considering how much he missed the 7 by. Now, CJ has definitely a billiard here. He has a half of a pocket for the 7. He hasn't even taken a look at the billiard yet. He had a half a pocket. That was a that was a tough shot to shoot at this stage of the match because the billiard was about automatic. The problem with the billiard is controlling the 7 ball. But he totally disregarded the billiard, went for the ball, and now I know why. At the end of game number 18, the match is now tied up at 9 games apiece. Both players are now in the stretch, needing only 2 games to capture the match and a right to play in the finals against Efren Reyes.
Earl, tongue-in-cheek, was applauding CJ's shot on the 7 ball and subsequent run out. He knows that he has had ample opportunity to close this match out. On the monitor we see Father Joe V. Hill. He has a headset and we'd like to thank him for his. I hope you're enjoying it.
Matter of fact, this is his first pro event. I was talking to him a couple days ago in the practice room when I was playing with Jeanette Lee and Tango. And now he was saying this is the first time he's been to a pro event and he's really enjoying it.
Position on the, making the 1, position on the 2.
He can't afford to brush the 2 there because he would have sent him out of line for the 2.
He needed to be further, but I believe he can draw the cue ball on this side of the right-hand side pocket, right there. He'll hit it with a low outside ball, letting him hit a little fuller.
Watch out. Watch out. Watch out.
CJ, if you give it to me now, I'll take it. I'm telling you, I'm a veteran.
Earl just said, if you give it to me, I'll take it.
I can't get out. That's right, I don't bet anymore, do I?
Comments like that are very irritating, particularly to his opponent, regardless of who he may be. If you give it to me, I'll take it. That would irritate me, and I'm certainly sure Wiley is irritated not only by the comment, but of course by the way he executed the shot on the 2, knowing that he had a good opportunity, a golden one,
To go on the hill. Just go 2 cushions around the 9 toward the 8. Very natural position shot.
I almost missed that ball. Matter of fact, it wasn't one on my
Well, Earl's the player that finds himself on the hill first, 10 games to 9. He's really not playing that well, but nevertheless, he does have 10 games to Wiley's 9. He doesn't really feel that he's playing well, but by his standards, he's not playing well, But to watch him play, you would think he's playing okay, pretty good,
Well,
But
because
by his standards, he's not playing well.
he's used to playing so close to perfect that every mistake that he makes is magnified. I mean, it looks like the end of the world when he makes a mistake, even though he's, probably pocketed out of 9 or 10 games, he's probably pocketed 75, 80 balls,
There's the corner ball. There's the 9. 1 ball. Finding a position, at the other end of the table where he does have a bank for the 1-2 ball position on the same side of the table down near the bottom right-hand corner.
He's got to make 1 shot, and that's the bank on the 1. Position is automatic, and the rest of the rack play is rather easy.
Okay.
And he did not make the bank on the 1.
He tried to spin the cue ball to turn the 1, hitting the 1 fuller so he could keep that good line for the 2. He wasn't able to turn the 1 enough. Wiley pocketing the 1 cue ball, coming to rest now on this end of the table near the side cushion, leaving himself a 2-9 combination. Very, very testy shot, especially at this stage of the match.
Oh my gosh. He conceded the game and the match to Earl Strickland. Earl Strickland wins the match 11 games to 9, Billy.
A very, very disgruntled C.J. Wiley just joining his cue, realizing that he did have the opportunities in this particular match to defeat Earl Strickland.
Can we have a hand, please, for C.J. Wiley?
And, well, that's just the way the game is. Sometimes you do well in the situation, and sometimes you don't, I guess. And this time Wiley was really not up to it. But all week long, he played really superbly.
Okay, once again, about 45 minutes.
Okay, Billy, we're not going to have time to do an interview, but I certainly enjoyed it, and I am looking so forward to the finals with Earl Strickland and Efren Reyes.
Yeah, well, I've been watching, as you have, both players playing this week. Efren Reyes is on the undefeated side, and deservingly so. Strickland expects to defeat Reyes. He's going to really have to come to the table with a little bit better game, I think.
I believe so too, Billy.
So on behalf of Dave Maddux, this is Bill Incardona saying thanks a lot for supporting ACCUSTATS. 1-800-828-0397, and we'll be back with the finals.